So on this episode, I'll be redoing the room in this camper. I started with little things doing it, like removing on the side. It was like some old vintage stuff. It's a 2006. It's been around for a while. We've had it for 10 years. And I'm just going to start with one room, a little modeling. The reason why I'm starting with this room, you can see up here, we've been having some water dripping in. And if you can see, all the tacks holding the roof are starting to rust. So I resealed the roof a couple times, but I guess as second owners, the previous owners would have let the issue go on, so water collected in the ceiling. And it started to smell like molding. See here, they're rusted out. This is all solid, but if you look under here and there, it's starting to be soft. So see in there, a little bouncy, and the paper is all. I think what's happening, water collects in there. Well, did at one point when it was raining, and since it had nowhere to go, it ended up making it through walls. And that's what I could find by looking at the outside and resealing everything. So when I opened that gap in the fall, there was a bunch of water coming out. So I'm going to strip everything, take the lights out. I'm going to take the bed out, all the cupboards out, and I'm going to take the whole ceiling out and the wall just on one side, which is that side, because this side here, everything is solid. So I'm really going to strip this whole room, take the carpet out, and I'm just going to kind of remodeling it. We've had it long enough. We've been enjoying it. Every summer we use it. It's just time for little remodel, fixing issues at the same time. So I'm going to strip this, and the steps required to continue will be shown after it's all stripped. So first thing to do is get the tools, take it all out. So I stripped the whole room, and as you can see, there was another beam here. I took it out. You can see the line where it was sitting up there, because I'm gonna have to wait till the spring comes. Right now it's winter, pile of snow. I took what I could for snow up on the roof, but not ready to take that out. See, this is where it was dripping on this slit, where it goes from tin to rubber in the seam. This is where you need to drill that track up on the top, and this is where the water was coming, so it's all rotten. And as you can see there, water has been coming and then staying because this is a low spot, so it rotted that. So I took 2 sheet out. See, just a little bit of water that collected there, and there it looks good. So if you go across here, I took the whole ceiling out, and this is where most of the water was collecting. So it's all soft, and you can see here the insulation liner of the roof. So there's actually screws from the top that screws in. I'm going to change it to a new one, but I'm not going to take it out now. I'm going to put a brace in the center for now for the weight of the snow. So I'm just going to go to the trailer store, order 2 8x4 sheet for the roof, which this one, see, I broke it taking it off, and there was some mildew on it. So I'm gonna, and if you look at the corners when I take the roof off, if they're in bad condition, I'm probably going to rebuild some new truss anyway. I'll show you the step to fix it on your own. So I got a quote to get it fixed, and it was going to be more than what the trailer is worth. So I figured by the time I'm done buying 2 sheet of these, 2 for the roof, the lumber, I'm going to go with hardwood to replace those. And all those, I'm just going to buy some 2x4 through the table saw. I'm going to make those 1 by 1.5 about. So you're looking probably at $450, $500 worth of material. And then I'm not going to put that insulation, so another probably 40 bucks, put brand new insulation everywhere. This is how much stuff I had to take out from in there. The bed, cupboards. So I'm going to rebuild all those after. And you can see there's snow. I have a tarp on it. You can see the line of the snow. So there's like 6. Snow went down, so I'm back at this project. Summer's coming, so I need to get this trailer ready for camping season. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to measure every piece that I'm changing. And these some are rotted. They're still solid, but just the smell, mildew. I removed the insulation, so it dried now. It's been 2 months probably. So I have to replace the bottom sill, couple pieces. So I'm going to measure, do a map out. Then I'm going to go in the table saw, cut some wood the same size as this. And instead of taking the siding off, the siding is screwed into these. Wherever I'm going to be changing, I'll be leaving just kind of a off-shaped triangle, which I'll show when I get to it. And I'm just going to slide with LP glue, and then I'll put 2 small nails into it so I don't have to remove the whole siding from the outside. This wire, if I have to take it out, the wood is not too rotten here. I might not take it out at all, but if I have to, I'm just going to undo power from that out. Then I'll be able to slide that wire out, change the wood, re-drill, put that steel sleeve back into it, and redo the outlet. So I'll get to that. And well, I did map it out. I don't know how well you'll see. Let's bring it up. So I'm going to change the whole bottom sill, 73, and I have to cut an angle into it to fit in there. Now I'm going to have to change 28 inch of this piece, and I'm going to splice with LP glue and screws, and I'm going to change that one piece there. So basically the insulation that was in the wall stayed wet at the bottom, so made this piece. If you can see, this is what I'm talking about. It's all soft. Well, it's not soft, it's very hard, but this color, it's for the smell more. I'm taking it off. And the bottom piece, that piece all the way, you can see the damage in that corner. And then all here, discoloration into it. And this is the 28 inch piece I'm changing, which is 28 inch off this piece. So I'll go cut those. I'm going to split on the table saw some 2x4s and a piece to splice it here. So LP glue and screws for that. Everything else is screwed and huge staple. So I'm going to cut the staple. Then I'm going to come in with a brad nailer with 2-inch nails. I'm going to put LP glue and 2-inch nails through it. Then I'll be able to put my insulation. For those blocks, I measured those also, so I'm going to cut. This one is good, this one is good, but I'm going to cut that one that you can see. That's rotten, and the one that fell on the floor that goes up where that outlet is, right there. So I'll get to that and I'll show you the process. So by using the miter saw on the table saw, I've split in this piece for the the wire that goes through here for the outlet. So I'm changing that piece here and it goes right through that wood. So I'm gonna slide that to the wire and I'll still be able to put LP glue and screws or nails. And I've got this piece cut, and I also have that piece cut and a 28-inch piece for here, which are here. So this piece, and here's the 73-inch long piece. So I'll go in there, start cutting the rotten one, and unscrew them out, and I'll replace with the new ones. So with this little saw, I'm gonna cut this, and now with this saw, it's a multi-tool zip saw. I'm gonna cut the one on the bottom. I'm gonna cut it there so I can put that new piece in there. This piece, once I cut here, is gonna go right in there, and this piece is gonna slide over the wire once they're together like that, and I'll be able to glue and screw so it holds all that together. And for these here, they're staples. I'm gonna just cut these staples instead of trying to get them out. Just going to cut them, and I'll just slide that new piece in, and I'll put new staples in. Then all that will be fixed. So I'll start cutting. See you in a bit. So I took the whole wood out, and this piece I had to kind of cut with the multi-tool. So I just shaved the center, and I was able to take like piece by piece out. And I had to cut the head of the screws. You can see here it's sticking out. So I had to cut with a circular saw all the heads of the screw, because they had been screwed when they built the trailer from outside, and the tin was put on and that, so I couldn't access them. So I just cut all the head, and by trimming center I was able to pry up from one end, and it would come off the screw. So what I plan on doing now, these screws I was able to take one out where the hatch was. It's about a 3-inch screw, and I don't want to leave it in there, so I'm going to try to log this on the drill and then take it out with the drill. Let's see if that works. Okay, I grabbed it, now reverse. See, I took them out. So when you have a screw with no more head, instead of wasting time with pliers or whatever to take it out, just like you put a drill bit, you know, you just got to squeeze it in. So I got, there we have it. And the others, I was able to unscrew them because of the hatch. I could open the hatch at the right angle. So basically now I got no more screw. And I'm gonna take the carpet out of here. And as you can see, the new piece of wood's gonna have to go on that carpet. It's just gonna seal to get from under, and since that thickness, that extra thickness was there, and it was 1.5 inches by 1 1/8. So what I've got cut now is 1 1/8 thick. So I'll be able to slide it under. But before I do that, I don't know if you can see, but I've got staples on there. So with these pliers, I'm gonna just try to take one out, and if they don't come out, I'm gonna cut them. So I'm gonna try to take one out just to show you what I have. See, I had to cut it. They were staples similar to this one. that held it all together. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all of them. Then I'm going to take that new piece of wood and I'm going to slide it onto there. But before I cut all those, I'm going to vacuum. Then I'll slide the new piece in, and whenever it's in, then I'll be able to put the new screws. I'll be able to put them straight, facing inside instead. And this is what I've done. I left a piece of wood where the screw was, but basically I thought it was screw, but it was staples also. The siding is on it, so wherever there was a screw, I'm gonna sit against it, new piece. I'm gonna score a pencil where I need to cut, and I'm gonna take a piece out of this. Then I'm gonna put LP glue. I'm gonna slide it over, and I'm gonna put like two 1-inch screws in there, just to hold that siding still. So this is where I'm at now. I'll keep on picking, and everything has been taken out. That piece that was here, took all that out, and I had to unscrew for this piece to take off. I had to unscrew the frame of this door from outside. Same thing for under. So this door frame is screwed on this, and the one next door, and the one on the top, and the one on the bottom. So I took all the screws out. They're pretty rusty, so I'll probably put some new ones anyway whenever but I'll vacuum, confirm everything is solid everywhere, and then I'll put all the new wood. So we'll see you in a bit. So I've now changed the bottom one. It's all screwed in place all the way, plus some glue. There's glue there, there's glue there, there's glue everywhere. Then I used the nail gun with 2-inch nails. Just put a couple nails to hold everything solid. Now this is the piece that's gonna go here, where I marked it. So you can see it's marked, so I'm gonna cut that and put some LP glue, and I'm just gonna slide it over that, and it's gonna hold the siding. So here you have it, and it slides over this, so it still holds the siding from the outside. So what I'm gonna do now, take it out again, some PL Carpenter glue, and I'm gonna put some in there. Not too much, just enough. There you go. And I'm just gonna dab that with my fingers. And since I'm gonna slide this way going in, I want all the glue on one side. Well, right now it's all on that side, so I'll go the other way. So like this, I'm gonna slide it in like that. I'm gonna put some on the top, some on the bottom, and I'm gonna slide it on. So a bit more PL glue. Some there, some there. Slide it back in. So what I'm going to do now, I just have a small level, small torpedo level. I'm going to make it straight, very level. It's level there. Some there, and up here, 2-inch nails. holds it in place. I'm going to take this piece here, I'm going to fill it with glue, and I'll just slide that over, just like that. I'm going to put some nails. I'm just going to repeat to replace the piece of wood that goes here. Then all the rotten wood would have been taken out. And I have 2 pieces of wood. One's going to need to go there, and one to replace that rotten one over there. So I'm going to take care of all that, and I'll be back with you before I put the insulation on. Now that everything is ready, I have some pink insulation into a roll. I'm going to start insulating everything. Then I use the old board that were on the wall, purchase some new ones. I'm just going to use those as template to cut the new ones. So after it's insulated, I'm going to go cut the new ones, and I'm going to come install that. So we'll see you in a bit. So I picked up a roll of this insulation. Just a roll like this. It's pretty squeezed together, and it comes about this thick there. It's about 2 inch, and see, it's going to fit in the wall because it's an inch and a half, and see, it's just cushy, so it's going to fill. So out of this roll, bought that just at Home Depot, and as you can see there, it's rolled pretty thin, only this thin, but when you unroll it, it just fluffs up. So there's quite a bit in this roll. What I need to do with this wall, this whole wall, and then the ceiling, but the ceiling we're gonna have to wait another probably couple weeks for that until I get like a beautiful weekend so I can strip the roof. That's going to be a bit more work than the wall was, but at least the wall will be done. And we have carpet in here, and I also ordered some clip floor, the PVC one, so 100% waterproof. So we're going to start with the wall. I'm going to put the insulation on that, and we'll show you the next step. Well, there you have it, all insulated. So I'm just going to have now to measure the panel, cut them out, and come install them. So with that roll, this is what I did. There's a little bit left there in the corner. So what I'm going to have to do is get another roll for the ceiling. See, the ceiling right now is open like this, but that's going to be for another day. By the time we take the winter cover. It's winterized right now, so just still some snow and it's cold and calling for rain all week, so I'm not going to strip the ceiling right away. So there you have it. It's all insulated, and I just have to put the panel on those, and at least that wall will be done. New seal for the window, because I've noticed the window on the other side has been leaking, so just a new foam. I'm going to seal that again to get the roof done, and I've got the new boards all cut up to redo the wall. So I'm also going to redo the wall before I start the roof here. So I got both piece cut, one that's going to start there to go to that stud, and then I have the other piece from that stud all the way in and cover all four, which is that piece here, piece right here. And that's the other piece here with the outlet hole and the cable and the window. So now prep for the wall. I'm gonna dab with some carpenter glue just on studs just once in a while, because when I took it apart, I noticed they had some of that glue. It's probably just because of vibration when you travel with it. And some 1-inch nails. Just as we have for the window, you can see there's a foam all around it. And if you look at this edge here, see it's not smushed at all. So that means there was no seal there. And this is where the water was coming in. So I stripped the whole rubber. And I put a new one all around it. Thick enough so because of the rib on the outdoor skirt, at least you know it'll be able to squeeze. It's got lots of room to seal in the ribs. And when I took it out, I saved the screws. So I'm going to install that window again with the original screws. So there you have it. It's all installed again. So I'm going to put that panel on, then I'll be outside. I'll look at that trim to be sure she's sealed correctly. Then I'm going to start with the roof. It's warm enough for today, so I'll be able to get to the roof. So the wall's done. And what I've done, I've taken the trim that will go in the seam. I took all the staples out. And then I just use the hammer just to beat where the staples were to make it straight again. So that's the trim that's going to go to seal that seam. So I've got one for that side and one for that seam. So I'm going to put those on. And then I'm going to start building the inside again. So I'm now going to strip the carpet out of here, and I purchased 2 boxes of Goodfella clip floor, which is plastic, and it has a membrane on the back. So it's going to be 100% waterproof, and it's going to get rid of that carpet, and it kind of matches the carpet. So it's kind of the same color, so it's not going to affect in here. So I'm just going to take the carpet out, then install the clip floor, and I will show you the result. I figured I'd stop for a minute. The wall is done, capped every hole. So now just to be able to plug these little holes there, right now I put white just to cover them, but this is the chalk I use, and I'm gonna go to the store, try to find, this one is like almost a close match, but it's still too dark. I just wanted to put the first layer on them, then I'll find the perfect color to match it. Now you can see the floor is done. So it's just clip floor. I did put that trim. And now I'm putting the bed back together. It was too windy today to start the ceiling. Here I've taken that out. I reinstalled that to be able to put the bed. And I'm gonna put a trim, just a small white trim all around, because it used to be carpet. So this is where I'm at. And these cupboards that go on the corner there and the whole way, I'm gonna wait till I do the ceiling. It's gonna be easier for me because some of the screws go in the ceiling in that piece of wood, and I have to put a new one in anyway. So I'll do that. This will be probably the next step. I'm now on the roof there and I'm getting rid of that silicone. I had to put all kinds of it there over the years. Every year I did some, so I'm just using pliers. It's very hard. Well, it's not that it's hard to cut, it's just hard on the blade. It just breaks the blade, so I'm just peeling it off with pliers like this. It comes off pretty good, so I did pretty much half of it. I'm just going to keep on going, do the rest, and I'll be able to take that track out because there's screws underneath this. So I'll get to that, try to get this out, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. So I managed to take the silicone out. See how it opened the gap there? There's not supposed to be any gap, but it's because it's rotten, right? So as you can see there inside when I did the filming, there's a gap. It shouldn't be a gap, and that's why I had to put like extra heavy self-living silicone. So I've exposed all the screws. Anyway, so I'm going to take all the screws out. Robinson, chances are they're all going to be stripped most likely because the wood's all rotten under. See, there's no more tread left on the screw. So I'm just going to take all the screw out. I'm going to pull this trim apart. I'm going to pull that trim apart, and then I have to clean all the silicone. Then I have to peel the roof, change the board in that. So I'm just going to keep on going at this. Now you've seen at least I've made it through all that silicone that's been there over the years. So it was just probably an hour job just to be able to cut and free that trim. But at least now it's free. I'm going to take it off. So I'll be back with you. So I took the trim out, and then you've got to unscrew trim from the side here. So remove the plastic cap, then you've got that trim. So I took all the screws out of that trim, and you have to just kind of peel it down, and I have to cut the seal, and I'll just fix that after. So what you have here, you have the seal. Sorry, you have the seal under. It's sealed from under, and it was sealed from the top. So I just broke the top. Took this out, took all the screws out all the way. Now this is stapled. You see some staples. See, so I just ripped the staples out, and I'll put some new ones after. So now I was able to break the seal here back, take this off. This is glued to it, so I'll have to kind of just break off everything off of it as I peel it. This is what I'm replacing, this board here. So I'm going to replace that old board in here. So I'll keep going. I have to do the same thing on the other side. I have to take the awning out, and then I'll just break the seal for that trim on the other end. I'll be able to pull that back, then change the plywood, insulate again, and finish my ceiling. So I'll get to that, and I'll show you whenever I get more progress done. Canvas has been stripped. See, there's major damage, but we stripped it right until the seam, so I'll be able to take the screws, take that board out, put a new board. I've already picked that up. And I've noticed here it's past the line, and I have one board and it's Easter, so I can't get another one. So I'll do a patch here, just this little corner. So I'm gonna do a small patch here, but from there on it's all gonna be new. There's a ton of glue on this. It's very hard to peel off, but managed to get it done. So I'm just gonna take a little break, then I'll come back and remove that, put the new sheet on. So I did cut the ceiling piece there, I installed them. So I have to push them. So there's the seam there, so I have to be sure that rubber was straight and it's fine all around. So I'll just have to put the trim, cover that gap, and the trim to cover here. So that's gonna be for the light. And I pulled the ones for the Allen counter light whenever I put the cupboard back up. And it was that vent. This was for the AC. So now from above, I just screwed these back in place. Put a screw in there. Screw. Just, this is the spacer, the edge of two boards. And this is where I'm gonna screw back this cap. Just have to insulate and put the board up here. And then I'm gonna reseal with glue the canvas. And I'll just have the edge to redo here. It's a big project, saved a big money. A lot of money instead of having to buy a new one. They said it was crap, so I'm fixing it. It's gonna be way cheaper this way. So I scraped as much as I could of the wood that was left on the liner. And I redid also the roof. So now you can see there, this wood under used to be rotten. This sinks, right? But it sits right now on a 2x4 under, and this is gonna sit there also. So there's a gap there. Once I put that, it's gonna be everything straight. So I'm just gonna seal that properly. And now to re-glue the liner that I peeled off, fix the roof, I'm just gonna use this stuff. Actually, it's multi-purpose there, so it's good for carpet and liner, and it's also good just for vinyl flooring. It dries pretty quick too, so I'm just gonna use this to put like a high base on it, and I'm gonna use the handle around and to just kind of press. I'm just gonna press the liner onto the roof, and as I go, the edge don't take any glue. It just slides in between here. So I'll just slide it in there, then I'll be able to screw that back in there, and I'll put a bead of self-leveling. See, I took the old one out right here. So then I'm gonna clean all that up, and I'm gonna put some new sealer, and then you can have, now you have this in there. So I'm just gonna put a couple nails into that trim to seal the edge before I glue the liner on. Been a long time in the making, but spend another couple hours there putting all the cabinets together. So things are wrapping up pretty good. So like I said there, I waited to do a water test before I put the ceiling trim. So now you can see between the seam I re-put the strip, and there's the second one. So now I have the vent to put. I have a light here, a light that's gonna go there, and a light that's gonna go there, and I redid the window trim and there. So for this, it took a lot of glue, so I'm just keeping an eye there. It's been dripping from under, you can see, but it's no big deal. I had to put glue the whole way in there. They used to be, so they're always putting too many nails. This is where I'm at now. So I'm just gonna have to clean up the ceiling there. You can see a couple of spots whenever I did put it up there. Thought my gloves were clean, but I guess they weren't. But I got the vent, 2 lights left to put, and then I'm gonna put the, well, before I'm gonna do a big cleanup. So I did a water test. We had a lot of rain, about 50 millimeters with high winds. And the only thing that I had found that was a problem, there was a dip in the roof, so water collected in that area. So what I did, I removed the indoor panel inside, and I made a bunch of wedges, and I did wedge them to lift everything up. And now you can see there's a curve, an upward curve into it, so water can't collect no more. It's just going to drip from the side. So this is what it was for this project. So please, if you like the content of this, there's going to be plenty more coming. I hope to be able to share the next project with you guys. So thanks a lot for watching, and see you on the next one.